Newly elected House Speaker Mike Johnson is scheduled to give a talk at a Christian anti-transgender event held at a full-scale recreation of Noah's Ark. Did you need more proof that GOP politicians only represent far right-wing evangelical Christians and not all of their constituents by any means? In theory, we're supposed to have a government by the people for the people, not just the far right white Christians. Jesus said in Matthew 7, "So in everything, do unto others as you would have them do to you, for this sums up the law and the prophets." Someone actually looking to follow the ways of Jesus, an actual Christian politician, would read a verse like that and think, I cannot and should not be participating in any event that others part of my community. I should not associate with organizations that shame or cast a bad light on some of my law-abiding citizens. It should be a politician's job to support and represent everyone. But that's not how these people think. Their entire faith is about hurting the people that they are supposed to represent in order to get votes from others. It is about making someone out to be the bad guy and stepping on the bad guy's necks. But no politician, regardless of their personal beliefs, should ever be opposed to marriage equality, for example, because it is quite literally a politician's job to fight for the full scope of rights for the people that they supposedly represent. No government should be legislating what consenting adults do with their own body or what relationships two consenting adults choose to be a part of. This is not a crazy concept, and it is something that the majority of people agree with. Unfortunately, a lot of y'all fall for fake outrage and propaganda directly orchestrated by the people in power who would like to continue holding on to and wielding that power. But unfortunately, a lot of us, instead of community building, would rather argue and bicker with our neighbors about this propaganda, about things like, should trans people be in bathrooms? I think that isn't a fringe issue that affects almost no one except for transgender individuals and their families and the people they know and love. Like, instead of us coming together as a community, talking to the people who are actually responsible for the current state of the world, saying things like wages are way too low, cost of living is way too high, we need things like guaranteed health care. Instead of us coming together, so many average working class Americans who are suffering are bickering with their neighbors instead of the people responsible for the situations that we're in. Because so many of y'all believe whatever the fuck you are told, we wind up with politicians doing things just like this, using Christian sounding language to justify militant patriarchy, American imperialism, greed, authoritarianism. They're just remixing the words of the prophets to spread lies to justify, again, their own power and control. Seeing self-proclaimed Christians celebrate someone who is supposed to represent the best interests of the general population, the general community, othering and demonizing an entire percentage of the population, white evangelical Americans need to stop believing and parroting every single thing they hear by politicians and religious leaders that look like them and are trying to convince them that they actually think like them and are working for their best interests. This is fake outrage to justify terrible things and get the general population to go along with it. I don't know, man. I've said this before, but I think when Jesus said to love the Lord your God and to love your neighbor as yourself, he was talking about all your neighbors, including your trans neighbors. A couple of weeks ago when we were all laughing at Kevin McCarthy, a couple of people were warning us something worse is coming. I mean, it's fine. Maybe if we vote blue no matter who, this type of shit won't keep happening and we'll be good.